Chapter 1. How I became a madman. You ask me how I became a madman. It happened thus. One day, long before many gods were born, I woke from a deep sleep and found all my masks were stolen. The 7 masks I have fashioned and worn in 7 lives. I ran maskless through the crowded streets shouting, "Thieves, thieves, the cursed thieves." Men and women laughed at me and some ran to their houses in fear of me. And when I reached the marketplace, a youth standing on a housetop cried, "He is a madman." I looked up to behold him. The sun kissed my own naked face for the first time. For the first time, the sun kissed my own naked face, and my soul was inflamed with love for the sun, and I wanted my masks no more. And as if in a trance, I cried, "Blessed, blessed are the thieves who stole my masks." Thus I became a madman, and I have found both freedom and safety in my madness, the freedom of loneliness and the safety from being understood. For those who understand us enslave something in us. But let me not be too proud of my safety. Even a thief in a jail is safe from another thief. Conclusion and meaning of the chapter. The meaning of this chapter is deeply spiritual and profound. Here, madness does not refer to a mental illness, but rather to the liberation from the false masks and societal veneers we often wear. The meaning of masks. These represent the false identities we adopt to present ourselves to the world. We pretend to be good, happy, or simply try to fit into society. The author suggests that it was only when these pretenses were stripped away that he discovered his true self. The kiss of the sun. Once the fake masks were gone, he experienced nature and the world in his raw, authentic form for the first time. He realized that true happiness lies not in hiding, but in pulling back the curtain of lies to face the truth. When you speak your truth and live authentically, the world often perceives you as mad. Freedom and safety. The author notes that there is a great sense of freedom in madness, not conforming to the world's standards. When people cannot understand you, they cannot project expectations onto you, nor can they control or enslave you according to their own rules. The deeper meaning of the final line, a very grounded truth, is shared at the end. While finding safety in solitude and detachment from the world is comforting, one should not be arrogant about it. If you cut yourself off entirely from society, that freedom can become a jail. Just as a thief inside a prison is safe from other thieves, he is ultimately still a prisoner. Chapter 2. God. In the ancient days, when the first quiver of speech came to my lips, I ascended the holy mountain and spoke unto God, saying, "Master, I am thy slave. Thy hidden will is my law, and I shall obey thee forevermore." But God made no answer, and like a mighty tempest passed away. And after 1,000 years, I ascended the holy mountain and again spoke unto God, saying, "Creator, I am thy creation. Out of clay hast thou fashioned me, and to thee I owe mine all." And God made no answer, but like 1,000 swift wings passed away. And after 1,000 years I climbed the holy mountain and spoke unto God again, saying, "Father, I am thy son. In pity and love thou hast given me birth, and through love and worship I shall inherit thy kingdom." And God made no answer, and like the mist that veils the distant hills he passed away. And after 1,000 years I climbed the sacred mountain and again spoke unto God, saying, "My God, my aim and my fulfillment, I am thy yesterday, and thou art my tomorrow. I am thy root in the earth, and thou art my flower in the sky. And together we grow before the face of the sun." Then God leaned over me, and in my ears whispered words of sweetness. And even as the sea that enfoldeth a brook that runneth down to her, he enfolded me. And when I descended to the valleys and the plains, God was there also. Conclusion and meaning of the chapter. This chapter beautifully illustrates the evolution of the relationship between man and God. It touches the depths of Sufi and Bhakti philosophy, where man ultimately realizes that God is not separate from him. The relationship of master and slave. In the beginning, man approaches God as a slave. He is bound by fear and rules. God does not accept this distance and passes away like a storm. Creator and creation. After 1,000 years, symbolizing a long period of intellectual evolution, man considers God as his creator. But even here, there is a gap, much like a potter and the clay. God leaves once again, father and son. Then, with love and devotion, man regards God as a father. This relationship is closer, yet it still involves 2 distinct entities. Therefore, God remains silent. Oneness, Advaita. Finally, man understands that God is not separate from him. He says, "I am your root and you are my flower." This means man and God are parts of the same tree. Only when man erases his ego and sense of separation does God accept and embrace him. Deep meaning of the final line. Once man realizes this unity with God on the mountain, the heights of meditation or samadhi, he no longer needs to go to a mountain or temple to find him. When he returns to ordinary life, the valleys and plains, he sees God everywhere, in every atom. Doctor 3. My friend, I am not what I seem. Seeming is but a garment I wear, a care-woven garment that protects me from thy questionings and thee from my negligence. The I in me, my friend, dwells in the house of silence, and therein it shall remain forevermore, unperceived, unapproachable. I would not have thee believe in what I say, nor trust in what I do, for my words are naught but thy own thoughts in sound, and my deeds thy own hopes in action. When thou sayest, the wind bloweth eastward, I say, aye, it doth blow eastward. For I would not have thee know that my mind doth not dwell upon the wind, but upon the sea. Thou canst not understand my seafaring thoughts, nor would I have thee understand. I would be at sea, alone. When it is day with thee, my friend, it is night with me. Yet even then, I speak of the noontide that dances upon the hills, and of the purple shadow that steals its way across the valley. For thou canst not hear the songs of my darkness, nor see my wings beating against the stars, and I fain would not have thee hear or see. I would be with night alone. When thou ascendest to thy heaven, I descend to my hell. Even then thou callest to me across the unbridgeable gulf, my companion, my comrade, and I call back to thee, my comrade, my companion. For I would not have thee see my hell. The flame would burn thy eyesight, and the smoke would crowd thy nostrils. And I love my hell too well to have thee visit it. I would be in hell alone. Thou lovest truth and beauty and righteousness. And I for thy sake say it is well and seemly to love these things. But in my heart I laugh at thy love. Yet I would not have thee see my laughter. I would laugh alone. My friend, thou art good and cautious and wise. Nay, thou art perfect, and I too speak with thee wisely and cautiously. And yet I am mad, but I mask my madness. I would be mad alone. My friend, thou art not my friend, but how shall I make thee understand? My path is not thy path, yet together we walk, hand in hand. Conclusion and meaning of the chapter. This chapter exposes the truth of human relationships and the inherent loneliness we often hide from others. It is a profound satire on those who fundamentally alter themselves just to fit into society. The garment of appearance. The author states that the face we show to the world and our friends is not our true face. It is merely a protective armor garment so that people do not ask us awkward questions and our relationships remain intact. The real I is silent and deep, compromise and harmony. Often, we agree with our friends simply because we know they won't understand our deeper thoughts symbolized by the sea, the night, or hell. If we showed them our true world, they would be frightened or unable to comprehend it. One's own hell and madness. Here, hell and madness represent our inner deep sorrows, peculiar thoughts, and the solitude we hide from the world. The author loves this solitude so much that he does not want to include anyone else in it, walking together on different paths. The final line of this chapter is the most profound. The author suggests that while we walk with people in society, and hold hands in friendship, we are actually mentally and spiritually very far apart. Our destinations and paths are completely different. Chapter 4. The Scarecrow. Once I said to a scarecrow, "You must be tired of standing in this lonely field." And he said, "The joy of scaring is a deep and lasting one, and I never tire of it." Said I, after a minute of thought, "It is true, for I too have known that joy." Said he, "Only those who are stuffed with straw can know it." Then I left him, not knowing whether he had complimented or belittled me. A year passed, during which the scarecrow turned philosopher, and when I passed by him again, I saw 2 crows building a nest under his hat. Conclusion and meaning of the chapter. This chapter presents a very short but profound story that speaks about human ego, the intoxication of power, and true wisdom. The joy of scaring and emptiness. In the beginning, the scarecrow says he finds joy in scaring others. When the narrator agrees, as humans also find joy in asserting power over others, the scarecrow makes a biting remark. 1, 2, only those who are stuffed with straw can know it. This implies that only a person who is empty inside, lacking love or understanding, finds happiness in frightening others or displaying their power. Compliment or insult. The narrator is left wondering if the scarecrow insulted him by calling him stuffed with straw, hollow inside, or complimented him by acknowledging his power. This reflects the human confusion where one mistakes a false ego for a virtue. True wisdom and transformation. A year later, when the scarecrow becomes a philosopher, meaning he attains a true understanding of life, his desire to scare others vanishes. Crows building a nest. This is the most beautiful part of the story. When the scarecrow gains true wisdom, he becomes so calm and gentle that the very crows he was created to scare now build their home a nest under his hat. The meaning is that when a person becomes truly wise, their ego is destroyed, and instead of being a source of fear for others, they become a source of support and shelter. Chapter 5. The Sleepwalkers. In the town where I was born lived a woman and her daughter who walked in their sleep. One night, while silence enfolded the world, the woman and her daughter, walking yet asleep, met in their mist-veiled garden, and the mother spoke, and she said, at last, my enemy, you by whom my youth was destroyed, who have built up your life upon the ruins of mine, would I could kill you. And the daughter spoke, and she said, O hateful woman, selfish and old, who stand between my freer self and me, who would have my life an echo of your own faded life? Would you were dead. At that moment a cock crew, and both women awoke. The mother said gently, Is that you, darling? And the daughter answered gently, Yes, dear. And conclusion and meaning of the chapter. This chapter boldly exposes the difference between the human subconscious mind and the social masks we wear. The meaning of sleepwalking. Here, sleepwalking represents a state of our soul and subconscious, where our deepest and truest hidden emotions surface. In sleep, a person cannot maintain pretenses. The hidden truth of mother and daughter. While in a state of sleep, the suppressed bitterness within both women emerges. The mother feels her own youth and life were destroyed in raising her daughter. Meanwhile, the daughter feels her mother is crushing her dreams, forcing her to live a dull life just like her own. This is the unspoken truth between generations that society rarely wants to acknowledge. The crowing of the cock and awakening. The crowing of the cock symbolizes the arrival of morning, meaning it is time to face the world once again. The social mask. As soon as both women wake up, they immediately forget or hide their bitterness and put on the mask of love and respect taught by society. They revert to calling each other darling and dear.